Friends and followers, this is Torrey Vent up in Olympia, Washington. This is the last in my series of things that I've collected over the years of ways that marijuana use may affect you negatively. Without any further ado, I'll set it up there and get into it and discuss it briefly and see how fast we can get through this treatise. Okay, diabetes type 2. If you got the munchies and the edibles and you don't watch your diet because you're high, you're eating all the time, you could run your blood sugar up and affect your endocrine system and go into type 2 diabetes or adult onset diabetes. Malnutrition, poor eating habits and diet, not eating regular meals, not eating healthy meals, not being able to afford good healthy food because you're spending all your money on dope. So you could be malnourished but not look like it. Old age poverty, of course. If you're on dope, you're probably not going to have a very good job history. You're not going to work a real high intellectual job because you're not going to have a high intellect, and you're not going to be able to save because of your impulsiveness and your drugs. Tattoos. You want to get a tattoo, just get high and walk past a tattoo parlor, and you'll probably walk in and get one and regret it the next day. Strokes, coronary arrest, heart stoppages, diet and lifestyle can lead to all of these things. Sobriety powwows for the Native Americans. All powwows are sobriety, and they're for alcohol or drugs to give you something, an alternative thing to do rather than going out and abusing substances. Respiratory diseases, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, lung, throat, bronchial cancers, infections, more colds, all these things will wear you down or kill you. Dating the dealer, there are those times, especially with the young women, when they don't have money for the dope, but they gotta have it. So they know the dealer's got an eye for them, so they date the dealer to get a little bit of dope. There was a case in Olympia a while back. A drug dealer, I think it was doing meth or marijuana, but a lot of young women, the word got around that you could date the dealer and get some dope. But eventually, they admitted that he gave about 15 people HIV, but the actual number was closer to 50. But they kept that hidden, and so you don't want to date the dealer. Marijuana marriage, you can't have two people in a marriage and one of them's doing dope and the other one isn't, because the one that's doing all the work and not doing dope is going to get tired of doing all the work and watching the other one sit around getting high. And then you develop a sudden interest in baking, and you start making edibles. Instead of smoking it, you're eating it, but you're still getting it. And have a friend that's just 2 years younger than me that the edibles got the best of her, and now she's taking an insulin shot. Her metformin no longer takes care of her type 2 diabetes. Weight gain, poor diet, no exercise, fender benders in your car if you're lucky enough to have one and able to keep it running, no insurance, unpaid tickets, can't pay the damage on the other guy's car, can't drive very well, you just have more accidents than normal people, bum explosion from the suboptimal lifestyle, plasma center where you can have your blood pumped out and have the plasma extracted from it and get $50 or $100 because any bank's a good bank, including the blood bank. Withdrawal symptoms, marijuana is hard to quit because it's highly addictive. Lost child custody, if you go to court over child custody, the person that's on dope isn't going to have a very good chance because they're setting a poor example and they're not going to be a very good provider. False multiple sclerosis, the THC in the eye socket gets around back and affects the optic nerve, gives you optic neuritis, which is fake. It can be misinterpreted as multiple sclerosis. Fetal cannabis syndrome, the child is born with a brain half size and it grows to adult size, it doubles, but the THC keeps the brain from adding new cells and getting bigger, so you wind up with as an adult with a smaller cranium and a smaller intellect and a smaller brain and a smaller head. Cabin infiltration system in your car if you're driving down a crowded road and you've got your system turned on and you're sucking in air from the outside, you're also sucking in dope from the other cars, that people that are smoking or vaping in transit. Dialysis failure, THC, marijuana affects the heart, can lead to fibrillations, flutters, weaker heart output, heart damage, and you need a certain ejection factor for the dialysis machine to work if your kidneys aren't working. And if your ejection factor gets too low, it either takes too long to dialyze you or they can't dialyze you at all, so you die of kidney failure. Swag wages, these are the guys that are working for the trimmers or trimming for the boss, and boss doesn't have any money, so for a month's wages he gives them a 10-pound bag of swag. That's what's left over after you trim it. Okay. Side street pharmacists, all dopers are dealers for sure. Eventually, if you're on dope, you will get a good deal and you'll get more than you need, and you'll sell off what you don't want to get your money back, and you use the rest of it. COVID-19, you're 5 times more likely susceptible to COVID or other respiratory infections. Marijuana hyperemesis syndrome is when you're heavily addicted and you can't hold down food or liquid anymore. You go to the emergency room and you're dehydrated, so they have to, you're in danger of dying. People have died from marijuana hyperemesis, and they have to put an IV line in them and give them 0.9 saline and try to get their hypovolemic up to hypervolemic and save their life. You can't have company because your house is polluted. You can't invite the preacher over because he's going to smell the dope. Or say your neighbors on either side or behind you are smoking dope and it's getting into your house and blowing over, and you can't have your company or your relatives over because your house is polluted with dope through no fault of your own. Neighbors doing dope, airborne cross pollution. We've got that in my neighborhood. I could walk around the neighborhood and I can tell you every house where they smoke dope because at one time or another I smelled it. Absenteeism, you miss work a lot because you don't feel like going or you just don't care. And the younger people that are on dope, they miss school, play hooky a lot. Petty crime, you need money, you need food. You're stealing donuts down at the supermarket or eating them in Safeway before you go out the door, and shoplifting and stuff like that, and whatever you can, getting something out of Lowe's and selling it out in the parking lot so you get some drug money. Newborn aphasias, if the baby prenatally has been exposed to drugs in the placenta, then his motor and sensory nerves are going to be, reflexes are going to be mixed up, and you're going to be born with autistic or semi-autistic syndromes and other nervous disorders and aphasias. Okay. Transplacental transfer of dope. We got that because mothers that are around dope or use it themselves and they're pregnant, it will transfer to the placenta, through the placenta into the baby and affect the child. It's kind of like fetal alcohol syndrome, but it's fetal cannabis syndrome. And then secondhand dopers, if you and the wife dope or you and the girlfriend dope and you have children in the house and the children don't dope, they're going to get it anyway because they're in the same house or they're riding in the same car while you're doping. And the last thing I can think of, I don't have it on the list, but when marijuana became legal about 13 years ago, it wasn't just a few years after that, they started giving public service announcements warning you, always look in the back seat, don't leave the baby in there to get hot and die. And the public service announcements came coincidentally with the advent of legal dope. And there's probably a direct connection there because if you can't remember where you parked your car, you probably don't remember that you have kids in the back seat. Okay, well, thank you very much. That's the last of my 7 videos. Hope you enjoy.